welcome back to Amara's Good Stuff. Last time, Arthur rose as king, guided by Merlin's wisdom, and Camelot began to flourish. But every legend has its trials, and Merlin's visions of the future revealed that Arthur would need something more than courage and justice. He would need a sword worthy of a true king. You may remember the sword Arthur pulled from the stone. It was powerful and enchanted, yes, but as Camelot grew, the sword grew weary. In battles and conflicts, its blade began to chip, and Merlin knew that this weapon was not meant to last forever. He told Arthur, "The sword in the stone gave you your crown. But the sword you seek now will protect your crown." And so began the quest for Excalibur. Merlin led Arthur and a small group of knights on a journey deep into the mists of Avalon, a mystical realm said to lie between the human world and the land of spirits. The way to Avalon was dangerous, filled with forests where time twisted strangely, rivers that whispered secrets, and mists that played tricks on the mind. But with Merlin's guidance, they pressed on. One night, while camping by a silver lake, Merlin spoke of his prophecy. "A sword forged not by man, but by the Lady of the Lake, awaits you. Only when you prove your heart pure and your rule just will she grant it to you." The next morning, Arthur approached the lake. Its waters shimmered like glass, reflecting the sky as though it were a mirror. Suddenly, a hand rose from the water pail, elegant, and holding a sword of dazzling light. This was Excalibur, gleaming with magic beyond imagination. Arthur reached for the sword, but before his hand could touch it, the Lady of the Lake herself appeared. She was radiant, with flowing robes like waves of water, and eyes that seemed to hold centuries of wisdom. She tested Arthur with questions. "Will you wield this sword for power, or for justice? Will you raise it for glory, or for peace? Will you protect only the strong, or also the weak?" Arthur, humbled and sincere, answered with honesty, "I will wield it for justice, for peace, and for all who need a protector." Satisfied, the lady placed Excalibur in his hand. Instantly, Arthur felt its power. It was lighter than air, yet stronger than steel. The blade shimmered with runes, and its scabbard carried a hidden gift. Whoever wore it would never bleed from wounds. Merlin, smiling quietly, knew this moment would become one of the greatest in Arthur's story. For with Excalibur, Arthur was no longer just a boy king. He was a legend in the making. But Merlin's prophecies were never all bright. That same night, as the knights celebrated, Merlin wandered away to gaze at the stars. He saw visions of betrayal, battles, and the eventual fall of Camelot. Though it weighed heavy on his heart, he said nothing, for destiny must unfold as it will. Back in Camelot, Arthur returned with Excalibur, and the people rejoiced. Word spread across kingdoms that the young king wielded a blade of unmatched power. Enemies hesitated to attack, and allies grew eager to join his cause. Camelot shone brighter than ever, a beacon of hope across the land. Did you know? Excalibur is often confused with the sword and the stone, but in many legends they are separate. The sword in the stone proved Arthur's right to rule, while Excalibur represented his ability to protect that rule and maintain peace. And so, the legend of Excalibur began, and with it, Arthur's reign grew stronger. Yet Merlin, ever watchful, carried the weight of his visions, for even the greatest sword cannot stop the shadows of fate forever. Thank you for joining us for Chapter 5 of our Merlin story. Next time on Amara's Good Stuff, we'll continue with Chapter 6. The Knight's Quests and the Rise of Lancelot, where new heroes join Camelot's tale and new adventures bring both glory and danger.